Christina, let's have a look at just one statistic from the Center for Justice and Crime Prevention, and that's that of the learners they spoke to, and it was an extensive study from grade 3 to grade 12, 15.3% of those learners had experienced violence at school, which is really a heartbreaking statistic. I want you to please speak to the parent or the learner on the other side of this video who is watching this and thinks, I've been a victim of that type of abuse in the school system, or my child has. Where do you go? Who do you speak to? What do you do?
Well, there is a very formalized system of reporting abuse, you know, and several in the Children's Act, several of our authority figures are designated as child protection agents, educators, principals, pastors, social workers, psychologists, are all designated as child protection agents. So those would be your first port of call, police officers. Those are the people that you should be able to trust to take your concern to heart and to do something about it. Failing those systems being available to you, if those systems are also something that threatens your safety, I would say children need to seek somebody that they trust, an adult that they trust, and then that adult needs to speak with the adults who are designated as child protection agents. I think it's time for us to be champions for children in our society.
Let's look at the other side of this argument, and to the parent who now realizes that their child has been the one inflicting violence on their schoolmates. Obviously, we've spoken about this, and it doesn't help to vilify that child, to brand them as a criminal, and tell them that they're destined for a life of crime or violence, because these are children. Mm-hmm. So what do you say to that child or that child's family?
Well, the parents should be concerned, and they should assume their responsibilities after being concerned and say, what is it that my child needs? What kind of care, protection and support does my child need to be put on the path of well-being again? So I definitely think there's psychosocial interventions that could be accessed by parents to help their children heal.
And finally, I'd like you to address the child who whips out a camera phone when this is happening on the school ground or in the classroom. We see it happening week after week, where fellow students film the incident and post it online. What is the best response when you are viewing or you're privy to this type of abuse?
I think, just to take it a little bit in a different way, that technology is a very powerful tool, and I think children are quite tech savvy, but they are not legally savvy necessarily. So they don't understand what laws they may be infringing when recording incidents of violence, even sexual violence, or even taking naked selfies. You know, these are all contraventions of laws. And then the results and the consequences go far beyond what the child intended.
Now, I really walk away from this interaction with you realizing as an adult my heightened responsibility in creating a South Africa where our children feel safe and protected. And this is the bottom line, really. I've noticed everything you've said has come back to the responsibility of South African adults to create a country where our children feel safe.
Absolutely. I'm glad you walk away with that message, because as I said before, we are the duty bearers. In a rights framework, adults are responsible for protecting the rights of children. So thank you very much for this opportunity to share those sentiments with you.
Thank you so much for coming through. And before you go, would you please tell us how we can get in contact with your organization? And if somebody is watching this, wants to know more about your organization, perhaps wants to get involved or get onto a newsletter, how can they do that?
Well, in fact, we are also becoming a bit media savvy, so we're going to say that on Twitter you can find us at RapCanInfo. And on Facebook, you can like us on Facebook. Our website is www.rapcan.org.za. So those are the ways that you can call us or engage with us. Just to note, most importantly, we are not a service organization. We are an advocacy organization. So you will see in the ambit of what we do that we try to be a resource rather than a service provider.
Christina, thank you so much. Noxolo, I want to go back to you. You can wrap us up with the last bit of social media feedback.
Yes, we've got a comment here from Yanaman Shabalala, who says these girls are only doing what children in this country have been doing forever. This happened when I was in primary school and high school in the 1970s and 80s. This reader also then suggests that nothing has really changed, and that rather technology, as mentioned before, is the only real difference in this whole incident, and that rather people need to be nurtured and made sure that this, and they used a word, crap, is irrelevant in our current dialogue as a society.
Thank you so much, Noxolo.
Thank you.